At its core, Battle Cats is a goofy tower defense game that combines absurdity with pop culture references from a variety of mostly Japanese IPs. Over the past several years, the developers have created more and more crossover events with such franchises as Street Fighters, Hatsune Miku, and Puella Magi Madoka Magica. A similar event occurred earlier this year for Neon Genesis Evangelion, an anime series that for most people needs no introduction. Unfortunately, I am not one of those people. It's not that I've actively tried to avoid the show, I just so happen to have neither seen it nor had it spoiled for me. If asked to give a summary, it would likely go as follows. The main character is a boy named Shinji, his father is this guy, mechs fight giant monsters called angels, and there's apparently an elevator scene that is rather controversial. From what I know about elevator scenes in other media, I can only expect the worst. Beyond these basic first impressions, Evangelion remains a mystery to me. Fortunately, the lore in Battle Cats is deep. I'm sure we can piece together the structure of the show with just a little bit of digging. We open the story on a futuristic Japan plagued by constant battles between mechs and monsters named Eva units and angels, respectively. It's clear society has given up on any sense of future, given they've opted to send children into the front lines as angel fodder, rather than resort to normal means like standing armies. In an act that can be classified as sheer desperation at best, or blatant malice at worst, NERV, the main organization tasked with fighting the angel demons, enlists Shinji, a scrawny boy prone to victimhood, as their newest private. Sure, he may look like a pipsqueak, but his dad is the second in command to NERV, and his surrogate mom is the head of an air force. Their talents must have rubbed off on Shinji, right? Just like in school, Shinji isn't popular with his Eva piloting peers. Asuka is too hot-headed and full of herself or friends, Kaoru is too busy being the mysterious bad boy, and Rei is one of those reasonable types that just wants to keep her work at work. Shinji's a good boy, though, who's willing to do his best. Even though it appears his Eva unit has the artificial intelligence necessary to pilot itself, he maintains an earnest attitude to be the best pilot he can. In any other show, that attitude might be good enough, but for our boy Shinji, things can't always work out the way we hope. Or ever, really. As the Eva missions progress, we see Asuka lose an eye, Rei lose her memory, and the group lose Kaoru. It's after the gang sees one of their own turned into an angel that they decide, hey, maybe NERV isn't the best organization for the job. Shinji's mom works for Willy and they have a really cool airship. What if we give them a try? With a letter of rec from Misato, Shinji and Asuka are able to join the offensive with Willy, though Rei decides to remain with NERV. To be fair, it would send off bad signals for her to abandon NERV considering her dad is their leader. Shortly after changing teams, the kids learn that Willy has an informant, Mari, gathering intel from NERV's headquarters in Tokyo 3. There appears to be a grand conspiracy afoot. The leaders of NERV have been commanding under a cultish dogma about a new world order. Just like in the Book of Genesis, where God utterly decimates the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah, the angels are meant to destroy the modern world, to rid humanity of the undesirables. This is why they claim that God is in heaven and all is right with the world. This is why NERV opts for child pilots who have no chance of defeating the angels. Victory was never the objective. The fights merely work to provide NERV the perception as an organization willing to take action. It's here when Willy first discovers that NERV has an armed moon base capable of massive destruction. Shinji and the gang are sent to investigate. Once on the moon, Shinji makes an incredible discovery. Kaoru is alive. The two are able to converse and Kaoru gives the classic, "We're not so different, you and I," speech. Shinji realizes that he and Kaoru have shared a long but forgotten history. From this, the two are able to form a bond, the first genuine peer relationship Shinji forms in the show. After a brief moment of happiness caused by the power of friendship, reality sets back in, and the two continue with their mission. They confront Big Bad Gendo and Shinji's dad Fuyusuke in the moon base, who try to convince Shinji to pilot the ultimate Eva, Unit 13. Through his newfound strength born from his social connections, Shinji rejects his dad's offer and sets back to Earth for one final mission against the monstrous Eva unit. While him and his friends are able to take down the unit, they're too late to save the city. While the fighting may be over, the destruction inflicted upon their world is impossible for the kids to comprehend. Where does Shinji go from here? While his childhood and adolescence were filled with familiar problems, bullying, and genuine violence on an unimaginable scale, he still has a full life ahead of him to live. In some ways it appears he personally is better off than he was at the beginning of our story. He's formed stronger bonds to his fellow pilots and likely to Misato as well. He developed the courage to stand up to his aloof father. He even succeeded in the end at becoming a pilot capable of saving the world, which was his original goal. In these ways, he has found new strength that will help carry him forward onto his next journey. I can only hope he's able to tap into that as him and his friends set forth to build Tokyo 4 for the sequel.